The Mining v3 Glacite Caves update just dropped, and I'm going to tell you guys a bunch of tips and tricks that I learned from top players such as Deathstreaks, 15H, and other endgame sweats about how to maximize your time in the mines. But first, we need to get to the Glacite Caves. In case you live under a rock or are frozen in ice, then here's a quick guide on how to get to the update. Talk to this guy sitting on a bench pondering life, skip the lore no one cares about, forge the paper, give the paper to this other guy, go to the Glacite tunnels, skip more lore no one cares about, and boom, you're at the mines. The best way to get in without the warp is to go warp forge, talk to this ticket master on the other side of the forge, and get in this way. Once you're in, there's a whole bunch of new ores that require a breaking power for at least 9. Get a gemstone gauntlet, X655, or Devon's drill to mine stuff. The best mining armor is Devon's, but you can also get Sorrow, Glacite, Goblin D's nuts, or whatever mining armor you want to use. The best pet is Scatha, next best is G-Drag, and then the next best is Dillo. G-Drag is really good because if you have a quick claw, it counts as a level 200 pet, so you get twice the mining speed and fortune a normal level 100 pet. Dillo is also pretty good, but make sure you have all your accessories and tuning points into defense for additional mining speed. You can put enrichments into defense, but it might increase your speed by 1, which isn't a huge difference. You can actually mine with the same Dillo pet perk that you used to be able to with gemstone mining, because that only works in the crystal hollows. Now for tips with the actual Glacite Caves update. First, reset your Heart of the Mountain tree and hard focus daily powder, quick forge, efficient miner, mining speed, and mining fortune. You can pretty much ignore all of the crystal hollows upgrade except for mining speed for gemstones, because it works for the gemstones inside the Glacite tunnels. After testing this, I'm not exactly sure that it works properly, but I can't really tell and I'm really tired and just have to go to sleep. Next up, you'll notice that I actually have 2 different pickaxe abilities unlocked. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, I thought you could only have 1. Why would you waste the token of the mountain on a second mining ability? Well, you see, I was actually testing to see which pickaxe ability was better, and I actually noticed that you can switch between the 2, and they have their own individual cooldowns, so you can use both of them. Now, I don't actually know if this is better than having something like Mining Madness, but based on my calculations, I think they're approximately the same, but it's really tough to say because your mining speed is a huge factor. If you've got a lower mining speed, then I suggest getting both because Pickobulus is likely better for you than Mining Madness. If you're only going to get one, then pick Mining Speed Boost because it is significantly better due to the Efficient Miner perk. When you're using Pickobulus, don't forget to try and put it in the middle of a bunch of ores or nestled inside of Glacite because it'll optimize it when you use the 2-block radius to break ores. Keep in mind that with gemstones, the Pickobulus goes straight through the glass and you'll need to hit a solid block for it to proc. While you're mining, prioritize getting commissions. This is because you're going to want Heart of the Mountain levels as fast as possible to get the new upgrades to your mining tree and various useful buffs. You can actually use Abaphone since there's no reception, but you can go to Rusty and buy a new Royal Pigeon, which still works in the glacial tunnels. This is a reference to when miners used to have canaries in coal mines to detect levels of toxic gases such as carbon monoxide. But don't worry, it's totally safe. Look at this happy worker that's insured with a 401k, a dental plan, and unfortunately no life insurance. But we'll get that covered eventually. For the commissions, at least one will always be mining some sort of ore or gemstone in the main area, and you'll also get commissions to go to the Glacite mine shafts, loot corpses, and suspicious scrap in the designated area of the Glacite mine shafts. See, this is why we need to use the canaries. You can get into Glacite mine shafts when these portals periodically spawn while you're mining. You can also start a party and warp people in. Unfortunately, you only get the commission goal for going to a Glacite mine shaft if you actually spawn the portal and enter yourself. But you can still get scrap, loot corpses, and get bestiary from mob kills from other people's Glacite mine shafts. Speaking of bestiary, for the mobs, use a Fire Veil, Hyperion, or some sort of weapon that'll do damage but won't actually kill the mobs. Then, just have one person, typically the person that spawned the mine shaft, to go through and kill all the mobs. For the Glacite mine shafts, it's best to be in a good guild and do G-Party to get people to join. Otherwise, you can join a party through methods such as Skyblock Z looking for party channel or just asking in chat. The nice thing about having multiple people is if one of them unlocks a corpse, then everybody can open it and you don't even have to have a key for yourself. Also, each of the ores that isn't hardstone gives a chance to drop suspicious scrap. As far as I know, the better materials don't actually increase your odds of getting scrap, so mine mithril to mine as many blocks as possible. For all the new ores, you want to set waypoints to all of the gemstones so that you can easily get to them and really quickly learn the new mine layouts. I suggest around this frozen pond because there's going to be almost every gemstone in this vicinity, but you're going to want to have waypoints to all the other gemstones anyways because competition is pretty rough and you'll probably only get worse once more people start getting to glacial caves, and it'll be way harder to get gemstones to respawn. Also, you've got to periodically go back to the campfire since the cold decreases your mining speed and regular movement speed. You can also reset your cold by going warp forge whenever there's a powder gas, so you can max your powder gas bestiary for that as well. This next tip only works if you have the glacial caves warp, but you can throw a pearl, warp to the glacial caves with a keybind, reset your cold, and then the pearl will land and you'll be back where you were mining. Now this is really useful, but the warp is currently very expensive. And speaking of expensive, a lot of these items from the new update are heavily overpriced. So I suggest that you sell all your suspicious scrap unless you want to risk gambling for a fossil, and try your best to make as much money from these items as possible before prices go down by just selling as much as you can. And then after, like, let's say a couple days to a week, you can buy items once they start getting populated enough to where the price is significantly lower than update release day. And I think that's all the tips I've got so far for this update. If you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe for more Skyblock guide, tips, tricks, and other content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Bye.